Hello friends, welcome to your CineFlash channel. This time I will have the pleasure to share with you the news from the comics that you love. My name is Alice Beltran, and let's talk about 10 facts that maybe you didn't know about the Black Widow. Have you released the popcorn yet? Let's start. The super spy is one of Marvel's strongest heroines. The Black Widow has done a bit of everything in life. She has been a secret agent, murderer, avenger, and has saved the world many times. She's one of Marvel's most radical and is probably the most underrated heroine in Marvel's cinematic universe. The super spy that turned superheroine has finally won her own movie. These are the 10 facts that show just how epic the Black Widow really is. Number 1. The operations. Natasha Romanoff started working as a spy very early, being even more realistic in childhood. Before being the Black Widow, she committed crimes on the streets of Moscow, Russia, performing every form of espionage imaginable. Considered an upper-class agent, she created some truly tricky situations. Maria Hill once said that there is an entire budget at the S.H.I.E.L.D. exclusive for Natasha's fieldwork cost, which was intended to cover property damage, rehabilitation of rescued people, medical expenses for the wounded, and, without forgetting, the equipment she uses. Number 2. She was married to the Red Guardian. In the comics, the Soviets forced Natasha to marry Alexei Shostakov, who is the Red Guardian. He was a renowned Soviet test pilot and spy, a good match for someone as skilled as Natasha. Eventually, although the marriage lasted a few years and was generally happy, the KGB faked Alexei's death, prompting Natasha to fully immerse herself in her studies in the secret Red Room and become a Black Widow. Number 3. World War II. Like Captain America, she was also injected with the super serum, which slowed down her aging process. Natasha was born in Russia during World War II, and in 1928 was orphaned and ended up being rescued by Soviet soldiers who introduced little Natasha to a secret government program. She was trained in the Red Room, where she was brainwashed, getting false memories. In other words, she could easily be over a century old. Can you believe that? Number 4. Super Soldier's Serum. The Black Widow is a superheroine considered biologically improved, meaning she's not an ordinary human being. She received serum from the super soldier. Natasha Romanoff is really resistant to aging and disease, and has superhuman strength and agility as well as speed and endurance. Number 5. She can use 2 weapons at the same time. While the Black Widow of Marvel Cinematic Universe may look like she's wearing 2 guns and more recently some sort of electric suit, in the comic book, Black Widow can do much more than that. A martial arts specialist, the Black Widow doesn't even need a weapon if she wants to take someone down. Of course, we saw some of her combat skills at the MCU. Thanks to the serum she received, she's also a world-class athlete and endowed with agility greater than any Olympic gold. Not to mention the entire arsenal of weapons that were designed especially for her. Are you enjoying the video? Please leave your likes and subscribe to the channel so you can help us to create more content you love. Number 6. She was a villain. She was not always loyal to S.H.I.E.L.D. Of course, when the USSR created the Black Widow, it was not to help the United States, but to destroy them with her abilities, getting into epic fights with Spider-Man and Carol Danvers. She ended up fighting the Avengers before returning to Russia to sever ties with her superiors. In her career as a villain, she tried to eliminate one of Marvel's greatest heroes. Number 7. Iron Man. Black Widow and Hawkeye start at MCU with a deep story that seems to have started long before Tony Stark found out about S.H.I.E.L.D. Yes, Black Widow and Hawkeye have a long story together. They worked together as supervillains when they tried to eliminate Iron Man. An expert in manipulation, she convinced Hawkeye to help her to exterminate Iron Man. But this all happened after she had already controlled Iron Man in an old relationship with her. Number 8. There were other Black Widows. While Natasha Romanoff is the most famous example of the Black Widow, there was another who took over the title much later. Yelena Belova, the second Black Widow, was actually trained in the Red Room by Natasha's teachers, making her perfect for taking over, although the two have a long-standing rivalry. There are a handful of alternate Black Widow versions from across the multiverse, but the most interesting example of another major comic book character that bears her name is Clairvoyant, a secret heroine with mystical powers who was the Black Widow in the 1940s. Number 9. Emily Blunt almost played the Black Widow. Emily Blunt as the Black Widow is just another one of the endless superhero cast stories that almost happened. That's right, it almost happened. Blunt had to officially sign the role and was slated to film her first MCU appearance for Iron Man 2. Unfortunately for her, but good news for Scarlett Johansson and all the fans of her performance. Blunt had to do it. She withdrew at the last minute due to scheduling conflicts with the film Gulliver's Travels. Number 10. She belonged to several groups. In addition to the Avengers, the character has been part of several groups of heroes over several years, including the Champions, Travelers, Liberators, Marvel Knights, Secret Avengers, and many others. Hey guys, which of these facts surprised you the most about the Black Widow? Do you know anything about the mysterious S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that we don't? Leave your comment, like, share and subscribe to the channel to receive new updates about your favorite hero. If you liked the video, please click on the bell to get all the notifications. And thank you for watching this chapter of Cineflash. Goodbye!